Hey everyone, welcome to a new episode of my Megapark. Now this episode will also be a tutorial. I'm going to show you how to make footers for a wooden roller coaster. Now real wooden roller coasters are not just placed on the ground with wood, but rather there's usually concrete footers. They're partly buried into the ground and the wood is constructed on top of that. Now, there's no real footers in the scenery, so we'll have to emulate it using other items. And for this, we're going to use a piece from the expansions. Well, there's two parts that you can use. There's the prison wall corners. Let's see, it's a quarter tile scenery piece which we can rotate on along the quarter tile. And there's the sandstone skyscraper filler. Now I'm going to use the prison wall corner in this episode because I think it looks nicer as a footer. Now, like I said, this is a very time-consuming process. What I'm doing here is all based on a tutorial made by Mekit. You can also find it on my Discord server. There it's written in text with pictures, so it should be quite easy to follow. But yeah, it will be quite time consuming. So first I'm going to show you the easiest part, which is a straight part of the track. So we have a straight piece of track here for the chain lift. So that's where I will start placing the footers. So if we want to place footers around this straight piece, we'll place one of these wall corners here. We bury it into the ground until only this part is visible. And then we place another one on this tile right next to it. Now you will see it will still be visible right now, but that will be fixed later. So we continue that for this entire straight part. Now you can also hold control, so mouse over one of these pieces, hold control, and then you can just keep placing them at the same height. That should save you some time. By the way, I also have clearance checks enabled right now, so that's why I'm able to build them into the ground. Okay, we do the same on this side. Well, here they actually probably will not be visible, but I will show it anyway, just for the sake of it being a tutorial. So I will just use the cutaway view here. Alright, now we can see this part. Now here they will be blocked, so I'm not going to place them here. Now, as you can see, they're glitching through the ground here. So what we will have to do is go to the tile inspector, select the tile, and then place them above surface. And that should move them under the ground again. Okay, what we'll have to do next is make it look like the coaster is actually resting on top of the footers. Right now the wood still goes until the ground. So then we'll take some of these wooden post fences from the Wild West set and we simply place those here under the track. Like so. And now it looks like the wooden coaster track is resting on top of the footers. Okay, I will now quickly do this for all the straight track on my Woodie, and after that we'll continue on to the curved sections. Alright, now for these support structures there's also some separate tricks. First, let me move all the support or the support structures under the prison wall corners, because if you look carefully here you can see that they're actually visible through the ground here. So if we move the support structure under the prison wall corners, then that problem fixes itself. The reason we are not putting these prison wall corners directly under the track but rather to the side is that if they're under the track and the car drives directly overhead, then they will start glitching. So that's not necessary for these support structures on the side. You can just directly place your footers under them. Now it will look better if we move them a little bit higher, so that's what I'm going to do now. With the tile inspector, I'm just gonna move them all one up, and then we're gonna place some wooden post fences under them. By the way, there's a hotkey for hiding supports. By default it's the number 5, so that's pretty useful if the supports actually block you from viewing everything. Alright, you want to make sure that the support structure is lower than the prison wall corners, and the wooden post fences have to be under the support structure, because the wooden post fences are what stop the supports from going all the way to the sand. You want the support from the support structure to stop here, right here above the footers. So we do the same here. Move the surface down, then move the support structure under the prison wall corners, and then move the wooden post fences under the support structure. Okay, sometimes you may need to improvise a little bit, like here where the coaster is a bit on a hilly landscape. So yeah, hills can really mess up the standard way of doing this. So then it might be worth also putting some of these support structures, whatever looks okay. Okay, now in this corner here, for some reason the support is drawn into the ground. That's not what we want. Okay, so now you can see it no longer reaches into the ground. What I did here is you have one of these curves here that go into diagonal. I'll build one here just to make it more clear. And when you make one of these, you can actually copy this support piece over here. It's a triangle, as you can see. And this is a really useful piece to just copy and paste everywhere in your park where you need it. And I used that, copied and pasted that piece here, and I put it under the other one, messed a bit with the height, and now the support is no longer drawn into the ground, but actually a bit above the ground. It's something you'll have to mess with yourself. But I find these triangular structure pieces very useful. Okay, I think that's pretty much all the straight parts done. As you could probably tell, this was very time consuming. So really, you should only do this if you have enough time for this. I think it's definitely worth doing because the result looks awesome. But yeah, remember it will take a lot of time. Like I said, sometimes you'll have to improvise a bit. Sometimes it will look good if you add some extra wooden post fences in between. Or these support structures. I think they will look good if you place a few in between here. So yeah, just improvise a little bit, that usually helps. Alright, now it's on to the corners. I believe we have only one of these tight corners here, so I will start with this one. Okay, for this curve, what we will do is we will add footers to the outside, to the 3 outside tiles. So on this one it's already there, and we'll place one here, and we'll place one here, and on the inside we'll do the same. So it connects here and here. Here there's already a footer here, so we don't have to place it here. I think it's more clear if I put a corner piece here. But of course you can also just look it up in Meched's tutorial. So if we have a corner piece here, we'll place the footer right over here in this part. And on the outside we'll place them here, here, and here. Okay, next I will place some wooden post fences right over here. I will disable the track just to make it easier for me to see what I'm doing. Now, what's important in these corners is that you put wooden post fences on all the tiles where the game would normally draw supports. Because if you don't, you can see it will draw wooden poles that reach to the ground, and that's what we want to prevent with these footers in the first place. So we'll place a wooden post fence on this tile, and then the original supports are gone. So now the track looks like it rests on the footers here. Now, I think this was the only tight curve that I have in this coaster. So now we can move on to wider curves. Now what we'll do here is we'll place footers along the outside of these curved pieces. So that's actually kind of like the straight track pieces. Alright, now we'll also have to place footers along the inside of the track. Now this is going to be tricky. I'll just remove all the trees and plants here that are making it difficult for me to work here. I'll add them back later, so don't worry. Okay, for this track I will also add some footers here in the middle. Now they will be less important than the ones on the outside, and they will glitch a bit when the track moves overhead, but they won't be visible as much as the other ones. Alright, now these little pieces in the middle, they should actually be placed on this center tile here. So I'll place them here in the center. And I'll do the same here. Alright, this way they will be the least visible possible. Alright, for diagonal track, it should be quite easy to place these supports, or the footers I mean. Okay, so we place the footers along the outside of the track here. And then we also have to place them in the center here on these tiles. Probably easier to see if we hide the supports. Okay, I think that's this area done. Now I could also do this corner, but it won't be visible anyway, so I'm not gonna bother with this section. Now here's a corner we still need to do. Now this is a medium sized corner and they require some extra tricks. Okay, for these inside curves we only want the footers right here on these two tiles. So we put one over here and one over here. The next one will go over here. Now the outside edge here cannot really be seen, so I'm not going to bother with this side. Actually, I think it looks okay like this, so I'm not going to bother with it. That was something with medium-sized curves that Megapark described in his tutorial. I don't remember what it was, but I'm happy with the way this looks. Okay, it looks like I've done the footers under most of the coaster. Really, I did it at the locations where it really mattered. So, should you also use this trick? Well, like I said, it's very time consuming, so you should really only do it if you have the time to do it. I think it definitely makes your Woody look more unique. Definitely it makes it stand out more. Oh yeah, here's still a spot that I still need to do. Alright, so as I was explaining, should you use this trick? Yes, you should if you have the time, but you'll probably end up hating yourself several times throughout the process. It can be quite finicky. But yeah, you should definitely look up Meg's tutorial on that. It's written in a Google document. It's probably much easier to follow than this video. Alright, I think I'll end this episode with a ride on this wooden roller coaster. Actually, I think there's one more thing I want to do. I always spot things, but yeah, this is something that's already overdue quite a long time. I really want to have a nice arch here under the coaster, so that's what I'm going to do first. Okay, I think that looks a lot better and it allows something to pass under the track. Alright, I think it will be nice to finish this episode with a ride on the roller coaster with its new footers. And that will be the end of this episode. I hope you enjoyed it and I'll see you again in the next one. See you later.